Watching Control Trends, and from all of us at Blue Ridge Technologies,
Happy Holidays!
Here we go, big dog. Hi, welcome to Control Talk Now, your smart buildings videocast and podcast for the week ending December 27th, 2015. My name is Eric Stromquist, and I am joined, as usual, by the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Kenny Smyers, the man from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Kenny, welcome to the show, big dog.
Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you again for that resounding introduction. I love it. Gets me all excited. Quite a week here, huh? The holidays and everything.
Is. That might be the last resounding introduction for the year 2015, right? Christmas
I think
and
it
all.
Is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 12/27. So, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what, Eric? You know what's really, we have 27 days until the Control Trends Awards down here in Orlando.
Boy, I tell you, it's coming on fast, and I know we are been booking talent. A special thanks to all our platinum sponsors. You can see them listed on the right-hand side of the Control Trends website. Please visit their sites, because without them, we could not book the talent and the superheroes that are going to make this year's Control Trends Awards probably the best one ever, Kenny Smyers.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to top some of the things that we've had. Great fortune to be able to put on the success we had in most recently in Chicago at the Hyatt, but before that, the BB King nightclub, and in New York City, it was extraordinary. Snow helped us, or actually didn't help us. It hindered the show and the attendees. And of course, Dallas, Texas was an amazing thing.
Well, in New York, but hey, the one thing we're not going to have this year is we're not going to have snow. We're going to have a lot of sunshine, hopefully.
That's what I was getting to. We're going to be in a pretty controllable environment, and the venue itself. I was looking at it again this morning because we're doing a lot of planning, a lot of work, and a lot of coordination going on still. But just the spaciousness. There's not that cramped environment, and there's not going to be big lines to get in. There's going to be a great red carpet area. The parking is still something we want to keep reminding everybody that it's the Universal Studios parking. So you're going to go into that designated parking area. They have a large parking facility. If you take a taxi cab, it's going to drop you off at the taxi cab stand, and then you're going to go through the City Walk, which is basically the I don't want to say funnel, but it kind of takes a very wide area and narrows it down into the walkway that you'll pass through or use to get to the Universal Studios.
It's a pretty spectacular walk too. So it's not like it's not like it's going to be a real burden. It's going to be pretty spectacular. And imagine that time of the evening, the lights will be out. It'll be gorgeous, and it's going to be something else. So we got a big show this week, Kenny. We've got two of our systems integrators on this week, which we'll be bringing on in a few minutes. That's again a new competition we're having this year, the Systems Integrator of the Year. So we've got we got three that we have not heard back from yet, Kenny. So we're endeavoring to get them on the show too, so our Control Trends community can make an informed decision when they vote for this spectacular award. So we'll have that later in the show. And hey, before we get going, a special thanks to Bill Duckelberger and the team at Blue Ridge Technologies for that holiday greeting. I had been out doing an interview with them about a week before, and they sent that on to the Control Trends community. So thanks for that. And Kenny, was Santa good to you, buddy?
Well, in these days and ages, if you get cool, you're still ahead of the game, because ultimately that'll be a valuable resource one day. Or no, I did really well. My wife and my daughters were very generous to me, and I've got some new clothes to sport around in. I've got travel plans in August that I'm looking forward to, because it all came out of the generosity of the Christmas spirit. And how about you?
I did okay. We had the family over. I had my three children were here. My oldest daughter, Britt, who's 26, and her boyfriend came by. And we had the two small kids, Evelyn and Axel. So it was Evelyn's first sort of understanding of Santa Claus and what that was all about. So she got a big kick out of that.
So that was a lot of fun,
we
huh?
did we had everybody over Christmas Eve and did the dinner, and that was fun. And then Christmas Day, Santa came. So Anna, my wife, is pretty smart. She took an iPhone and put it on video mode. So sort of right there by the tree. And so she left cookies out for Santa, right? Evelyn had. And so Anna had taken a bite of the cookies. So Evelyn immediately came running up to look at the cookies and saw that Santa Claus had eaten a cookie. And of course, she's got the iPhone right there. So you're seeing her sort of expression as she sort of checks that out. So it was it's great. And then Axel it's all about playing with the boxes now. So, but it was great, man. It's yeah.
Discard the toy and play with the
Well, he
boxes
does, but he got three little balls to play with, because you told me that you trained your daughters who are great tennis players, and the hand-eye coordination can't start too early. So you were telling me to take the balls and roll them to him, and we've been doing that. And Axel's into the balls, man. He goes right for him, so it's cool.
Actually, it was a trick one of the tennis instructors taught us when he was working with his daughter. And you're right. He laid this infant on her stomach and rolled balls to her, and how she began to anticipate the roll and developed a hand-eye coordination. She went on to be a very, very seriously. She was almost the big league, almost the pros. She played at the University of Texas and was just an incredible tennis player.
All right. Hey, Kenny, as you know, we got the Systems Integrator of the Year award going on. It's a very, very hotly contested contest, and we are really pleased today to have two guests here that are going to tell us how they do it up north in New England Patriot territory. So why don't you introduce our two guests real quick, and let's bring them on and get this show started.
Love to, Eric. We got John Donahue from CCI, one of the top integration distributors in the country, along with Dan White from Navitas Systems Integrations. Two outstanding people in the HVAC business. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey, thanks.
Glad to have you guys here. And hey, I've known JD for years. JD is with Controls Consultants out of Boston, Mass. I guess it's actually technically just right outside of Boston. But JD, you've been doing controls forever, man. Before we get started with Dan and turn the spotlight on him, tell us a bit about CCI and what you guys do.
Hey, we've been in business. CCI opened in July of 1989. We're selling temperature controls to HVAC contractors throughout greater Boston, all of New England, and now down into the greater New York area.
That's awesome, dude, man. I remember when you and Kenny's brother, Tommy Smyers, we all got started. We spent 3 weeks in Purgatory, which otherwise for people in the controls industry is known as Rockford, Illinois, where we all went up and got our basic training. So those are some great days. But hey, John, you're one of the most successful distributors on the planet. And I got to tell you, your integrator here, which I would like for you to say more about, is we created the Systems Integrator of the Year award. We had people write them in. Dan and your guy are out of the top 80, made the top 5 or 6. So that's quite an honor. So worldwide. So what can you tell us about Dan and his company?
Well, Dan, first of all, the success of CCI is our customers and our employees. And Dan has been one of our best customers and biggest clients over the last couple of years. I think we've been doing business together for about 5 years now. That's right. Dan came to me with his partner, Matt, shortly after an ASHRAE show 5-6 years ago, and walked in here and said, hey, we want to get involved in that tritium stuff. And I looked at him and I said, oh my God, what are we going to do? And it's been a tremendous ride for the last 5 years. Dan's done one of the things that we haven't had for a long, long time. Dan's brought us a lot of work in the city itself. We had worked on the outskirts of the city, our customers did, and Dan has brought us some big projects in the city. So,
Dan, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, just the control trade community loves to hear the history. When Navitas got involved in the HVAC BAS building, tell us a little bit how you started your business.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm a third generation mechanical and even control guy. My grandfather was a pipe fitter for Robert Shaw, and my father was actually a pneumatic control tech for Robert Shaw and Johnson Controls until he started his own pneumatic control service business probably about 25 years ago. So I grew up living in boiler rooms and wiring PEs and EPs all through high school and even a little bit before. During all that time, I pretty much decided that might not be what I wanted to continue to do. So went to school. I got a marketing degree. I was in finance for a long time. And then about 6 years ago, we saw the business really start to change, where you needed people that can be involved in information technology as well as have a mechanical background and be able to speak to people in different parts of a business and ownership and contractors. And, as John said, Matt and I had a trip down to Ashray, and we saw the Tritium product, and I knew right then that was my avenue, to get into to this business and just, to basically start a company and go from there. And I couldn't have done any of that without John and CCI's support.
That's awesome. Cool. I see that you've done some very large jobs, and I think it's important for our Control Trends community to understand that you're both a Honeywell ACI and a Tritium Vicon Systems Integrator. Some of these projects are enormous in scope. The residences at the Atlantic Wharf in Boston, National Grid, Alchemies, 1000 Washington Street. These are jobs in the past. Tell us about some of your new projects that you're working on that you're excited about.
Sure. Yeah. So we those projects, those are the kind of the staples that really got us started and kind of put us on the map. And we've taken that and really leveraged the relationships that we created during those projects with both mechanicals and GCs. And to today, all of our business is repeat business with are the relationships that we've built. And so currently we've just finished TripAdvisor's world headquarters in Needham, Massachusetts, which is about a 300,000 square foot, Class A office building. Just wrapping up, actually about a month ago, New Balance moved their world headquarters right down the street from where they were prior. They actually purchased the entire street leading up in Brighton, Massachusetts. And their world headquarters is the first building of 11 buildings that will be going in there. First one being their world headquarters, and the second one, which we are the system integrator for, is the Boston Bruins practice facility right off of the Mass Pike in Boston, which they should be skating there in August of this summer.
Awesome.
It's very cool.
Yep.
What makes a great systems integrator? What do you guys try to do that maybe other people don't?
Well, to me, I think, the key for us has always been like, when I go in and I speak to mechanical contractors, GCs or owners, and my Honeywell people might not like to hear that, but I really don't think that it's about the manufacturer. It's about the people that are putting the product in place and testing it and doing all of that commissioning and the checkout and the graphics and turning it over and doing the training and working with the commissioning agent. And we every day we beat into our guys, look, you've got to be completely supportive of all the other trades on the project. Make sure that you're not someone who's bringing in and having just a problem to present. And when you go in, you're presenting a problem, but here's our solution. Nobody wants to hear, the Division 16 power isn't going to be ready for a month, so there's nothing that I can do. I'm going to pull my guys. No, we go in and say, well, hey, how about, we can get some temp power out to our stuff. We'll start checkout before they're even ready to do our thing. And by the way, we'll help, we'll be there every single day with a balancer and whatever commissioning agents involved. So we really try to have it. It's about the people that are on the ground dealing with, all the different trades and the coordination with the mechanical and the GC and the electrical. That's, to me, that's what makes, the best system integrator is those guys who are really a partnership in the project.
Really, really well said. Well, and Dan, you could probably work with any manufacturer you wanted to direct. Speak, if you would, a little bit now. I know John's got a great company and all that, but speak about maybe the merits of working through a distributor like John.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning, we really wouldn't be the company that we are today without the support of John Donahue. I mean, even when we first started, it was myself, an electrician, and my co-founder Matt, and we were the guys that were out there doing a couple hundred BAV jobs without really any experience with either Honeywell back in the day, the lawn spec or AX. I think we skipped R2 integration right into we AX from the start. And without having, John has a tremendous team of guys here, Jim Steiber, Brian Donahue, and those guys were just critical in helping us, answering the phone, technical support. We utilized, his engineering team in the beginning, and we wouldn't be where we are today without that support.
The biggest buzz now in our world right now, and you as a Tritium of Icon Systems integrator and Honeywell Webs, is Niagara 4. What's your experience thus far? How do you feel about it? Are you excited? Is it going to be a game changer? Is it going to deliver its promises?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I'm excited about N4. We've had two of our guys have already gone through the N4 training. We actually have our first retrofit application where we have an old 3.8 system that we're going to be installing. I believe it goes in the first week in January. But that's definitely one thing that we know that we won't have to worry about is Java issues, which obviously everybody has had their fair share of those issues. I mean, we went through a period of time where we had so many projects, so many JACEs out there that all went through that same Java issue almost within a 48-hour period of time. And for a small company, that really stressed. Our guys, our client relationships. It's hard to explain. Even though it's not an issue that was created by us, we own it. So we were out there, making all those adjustments as quickly as we possibly could. So that's definitely one thing that we're really looking forward to, getting rid of the Java crutch.
Hey, as far as N4 too, we're really excited about it. We've played around with the technology a little bit, but I think with the new JACE 8000 and the licensing model, obviously it's going to make our ability to service our customers that much better, simply because we got one piece of hardware, we can license it instantaneously, and we can deliver that product to our customer when he needs it, as opposed to inventorying 6 or 7 different models. So we're really excited about that piece of it. So.
Very, very cool. Well, that brings up a kind of a great question, Dan, because as you know, all of us have been in the industry for a while. Like you mentioned, you started with pneumatics and worked your way up, and I think the products have obviously changed, and I think the nature of a systems integrator has really changed too. I mean, from just doing the HVAC type integration to now doing things like access, security, lighting, things like that. What advice could you give an owner? They're doing a project, be it a retrofit or new construction project. What are some mistakes you see them making, or some advice you give them about how to work with their systems integrator? What should they look for in a systems integrator might be another way to say that.
Sure. Definitely one of the areas that we've seen change quite a bit recently is, as you said, the amount of integration that crosses the different trades that are involved in a building project. And most of the time, the typical path to a system integrator has been, the GC hires an HVAC or a mechanical, and that mechanical then descopes or chooses the proper system integrator for that project. So one recommendation we've tried to kind of make, I don't want to say jump over, but we've tried to make some relationships with general contractors that kind of view that system integration portion of their project as incredibly important to delivering a successful one to their client and the building owner. And that is definitely one thing that I would tell an owner. Look, you want to have a GC that is 100% involved in descoping between the trades that system integration portion. We regularly have to, we're reading the electrical specs, plumbing specs, even some AV specs or security specs, just to make sure that we're carrying everything that building owner has wanted, for their building automation system. Sometimes plan and spec market being what it is, our competitors might not carry all of those, minor, not really minor, but those integration portions having to do with all those other trades. So having a direct line to the general contractor, or even having the owner have more of a sign off or a say, make it more of an interview process rather than just, okay, well, whoever the mechanical contractor has chosen this one, that's good. We're ready to roll, and have more of a hands-on component to that portion of your project.
Yeah, absolutely. And JD, I'll get your take on this too, but we did a piece on control trends just recently with a very successful contractor, and he was basically talking about, being penny wise and pound foolish, and talking about the fact that, you got your cost to do the job, but then you got the cost of ownership. And I think, Dan, that's where guys like you and JD are able to come in and really make sure that your cost of ownership and living with that building is going to be a lot less than maybe saving a few bucks up front on the installation of the project. Fair statement, guys? You guys agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that we see there is with integration, with DDC controls, but predominantly with the integration, people are just underbidding projects. They're winning jobs at rates that are 10 years old. And what's happening is that they're not able to really complete the job and give the customer the job that they deserve, the job that they think they thought they were buying. It's a different world. I mean, you've got to, like you said, it's just not the cost of putting the job in, it's the cost of supporting that job and living with that job for at least, a 3 to 5 year period. I think the customers and the owners expect that.
No, very, 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 very well said. So Dan, sort of walk us through. So somebody that maybe is up in that area, hasn't dealt with you guys before. I mean, they can obviously get hold of you guys at navitas-llc.com. Walk them through what can they expect if they pick up the phone and call you or contact you. Walk them through the process. What are you guys going to do to take care of them?
Sure. Well, if it's a building owner with an existing building, we would myself or one of my sales engineers would talk to them on the phone, find out what their issues are, arrange for a site visit or walk through, take a look at what their system is, and really give them an honest assessment of what we would recommend from this point forward, and and we would probably also try and educate them a little bit about some of the buzzwords that they might hear that they might not really understand. Open protocol, BACnet or LawnWorks. Explain to those the history of those protocols and what they mean, and the difference between those open protocols and really having an open source or having a choice going forward of when your system is in place and running. You're not locked down to one individual control contractor. You have an option of going. It's all based upon how well you think my company is doing or one of my competitors is doing, and if you ever need to make a decision to move on from that, you have options. You're not locked down to that one branch service option.
Such a key piece. I think you're really, really right about that. With the open system is huge. So it sounds like you guys really educate your owners on what they're getting. And speak about that, you guys are one of Honeywell's biggest players as well as Niagara's. Both of them are up for Control Trends Awards. What can you say about Honeywell and Niagara?
Well, James Johnson's my man. He is the best tech support guy out there. Ed Merwin, another great guy. I think both of them are up for some awards. Nino, I think the world of all the guys down there at Vicon and Tritium.
There we have it. Dan White with Navitas Systems out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. He is up for the finals and the Control Trend Systems Integrator of the Year Award, so be sure to check him out. If you like what you see, vote for him. Pass that ballot on to other people. Hey, if you're up in the Massachusetts area, you also got John Donahue as your all-star distributor up there. And John's website, I believe, is cccicontrols.com. John, is that right?
ControlConsultantsinc.com.
ControlsConsultantsinc.com. All right, guys. Hey, Dan, thanks so much. Good luck.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, John. See you in
Thanks,
Florida.
guys.
All right. All right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's time for a new segment on Control Talk Now, Ken's Calendar.
It's time for Ken's Calendar. Get all the information you need on upcoming events, including training classes, webinars, and conferences. All the event news you need right here, right now. Take it away, Ken.
Well, what we have is pretty much straight stick stuff. We have the SGIP OpenADR grid Modernization Forum in Chicago, January 19th through the 20th. We, of course, have our Control Trends Awards show, January 24th. We have the AHR show going from the 25th to the 27th. And then we also have EasyIO sticking around the Orlando area to do some EasyIO training at the Stromquist facility in Orlando. Then we have more EasyIO training in February up in New York City. Then we come to March 22nd through the 24th. We have the NFMT in Baltimore at the Baltimore Convention Center. That's a great show, getting bigger and more important in the Beltway area of DC. And then we have a very, very important announcement in addition to the calendar. This is the Niagara Summit, May 15th through the 17th, 2016, in New Orleans at the New Orleans Hyatt Regency. Every 2 years, the Niagara community comes together as a whole at the Niagara Summit to learn about the advancements in the Niagara framework, the network. It's an opportunity to learn from your peers, hear the latest on the technology trends and news, and most importantly, it's going to be a continuous revelation of the recent debut of Niagara 4 and the JACE 8000. So it's going to be a huge event. And,
yeah, it's going to be big, man. I tell you what, in New Orleans, it's going to be a great place to have a convention. So congratulations to Jenny Graves, Ed Merwin, and of course Nino DeCosmo, John Subbott, the rest of the team at Niagara. It's going to be great, Kenny.
Sure is, and I've been through New Orleans in a very short sort of thing. I was in the military, and I was down at a Air Force base down there, and I went to NCO SAC NCO training down there in Barksdale Air Force Base, and we just drove into New Orleans and back out, so we didn't get a chance to see it. So I think it's going to be a place to go to this year. Mark that on the calendar because again, it's a great mix of professional training, especially people that are the integrators. This is the opportunity to really hear the buzz and network, and then there's a very pleasant congenial atmosphere where Jenny Graves and Tritium always takes time to make sure it's well worth
it is, and
your time there socially.
Right. We covered it last year, so let's put some links in the show notes so people can go back and see some of the incredible stuff. Like I said, we actually did a Control Talk now from in the live event they had, the social event, but then great speakers. We'll put some links so you can go back and see what that's all about. But if you haven't been to a summit, I mean, you got to go, man. That is like the Church of Controls. All right,
okay.
Big Dog. So what do we have? What else do we have up this week on Control Trends?
Well, there's not a whole lot of exciting things happening in these short week in the holiday mode. But the Department of Energy announced the largest energy efficiency standard in history, and this really caught our eyes because we're tracking how we're using all these tools we have in our industry in the BAS and building management system. What's the impact? Well, the impact is that if we all keep smart, specify smart. Tagging and just keep improving the processes, there's a big result, and this is the big picture, the 30,000 feet high down. It says that the Energy Department announces the largest energy efficiency standard in history. The U.S. Department of Energy recently announced historic new efficiency standards for commercial air conditioners and furnaces. Developed with industry utilities, environmental groups, these standards will save more energy than any other standard issued by the department to date. Over the lifetime of the products, businesses will save $167 billion on their utility bills, and the carbon pollution will be reduced by 885 million metric tons. Now, they do some neat diagramming on that in a chart, and you go to the Control Trends site, you can see more about this. But to give kind of an overview, during the Obama administration, the department has finalized new efficiency standards for more than 40 household and commercial products, including commercial refrigeration equipment, electric motors, fluorescent lamps, which will save consumers $535 billion and cut greenhouse gas emissions by over 2 billion metric tons through 2030. So I always think that's important for us to know, what role we play. And it's small steps lead to very, very large progress. And I think having the opportunity to just kind of hear the numbers is what does $150 billion mean to us, or $167 billion? It's hard to put that into perspective, but the reality is that the things we do in the HVAC business, the building automation business, all this data analytics and all these things that we're doing lead to positive results that are measurable. And I just give the HVAC industry a pat on the back for everybody trying, all the professionals out there trying to make their facilities more efficient, trying to make their facilities more operationally sound and more operationally efficient. It's a big result, and we need to step back and measure the results. And this is what does it. This kind of post by the Department.
Well,
of
I'll tell
Energy.
you what, you can say what you want to about this administration, but I think it's been very, very good to our industry. Vis-a-vis what you're just talking about. There's been a lot of emphasis put on saving energy, and that's been a good thing for us. All right, buddy, what do we have up next?
Well, next up we have one of our favorite people, Eugene Mazzo, and the staff out there at DG Logix have really and truly taken data visualization to the next level. It's called DG Logix Tips and Tricks, Build the IoT application for the smartphone or tablet. And the guys did it again. Think mobile for your 2016 data applications. It's a great post. Please visit it because there's more information that we can give you just on this post review. But data visualization and DG Logix, DG Lux 5 delivers valuable insight with proper usability across modern smart devices that are becoming the requisite. I mean, once you start seeing this stuff, it's going to be expected. So your customers, especially large users that really have distributed environments, to bring that together in one concise data presentation. And we all know how much more stunning and impressive data visualized in a graphic is than reading it or seeing the charts that don't that you really have to dig into and have to look at. You want to know if we're red or green, we winning or losing, we plus or minus, how far off we are in terms of percentages. So when you see those the dashboards that have the odometer style of visualization, it really it's easy to understand. And these guys have taken that technology and made it extraordinarily simple with smart devices. So he says that the DG Lux 5 is easy to build, flexible, device agnostic applications that adjust to screen sizes, respond to touch controls, and load images and IoE data conservatively without ever writing a single line of code. You could give your users uncluttered, intuitive, and efficient experiences regardless of their device. So it's a pretty neat post, and DG Logix does
Well, they
again.
do, and they are up for several Control Trends Awards again this year. So that's going to be a very hotly contested category this year, all the analytics and the visualization awards. And Eugene's up for Executive of the Year for a small manufacturer. So these guys always do good stuff, and they've always been sponsors of the Control Trends Awards, so we really appreciate them for that as well.
In fact, the concluding request of that post is vote for us in the following Control Trends Awards categories. Category number 9, Third-Party Visualization Software of the Year. Category 12, Innovative Product of the Year. Category 16, Best Technical Support Person of the Year, Small Manufacturer. And Category 20, Control Trends Executive of the Year, Small Manufacturer.
Very, very cool, Kenny. All right, well, now it's time for our next segment, Ask Controls Expert, where Control Trends community either emails us a question in at controltrends@gmail.com, and we reach out to the Control Trends community to try and find an expert to answer that question. So without further ado, here comes Ask a Controls Expert.
It's time for Ask a Controls Expert. Ken and Eric reach out to the global Control Trends community to get your controls questions answered. Now, here's your controls question of the week.
Hey, Kenny, tell us about our question this week.
All right, Eric, this is a very interesting question from a building owner in the Oakland, California area who says, we are undergoing a major renovation to one of our facilities. Our contractor has proposed installing the Honeywell RedLink thermostat with the equipment remote module. Do you recommend using the RedLink, and what are the advantages of using the wireless RedLink thermostat and the equipment remote module?
Very cool, Kenny. So who did we get control expert-wise from our worldwide Control Trends community to answer that question?
Eric, we got a gentleman who has sold more thermostats than anybody I know personally. Been in the business almost 30 years, although he'll deny that. His name is Sam Mcdonald. He's a Honeywell sales rep out of the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area.
All right, let's hear what Sam had to say.
Hi, this is Sam Mcdonald with Honeywell. Your contractor made a wise choice in recommending using Honeywell's RedLink wireless control system on your facility. Simply put, RedLink controls allow for faster installation, reducing labor costs, which ultimately allows for greater profits. By going wireless, your contractor won't have to drill holes or pull wires, You can place the thermostat in proper location or remotely mount them where only authorized personnel can access them. With the equipment remote interface modules placed at your boiler or rooftop or air handling unit, they will securely communicate on Honeywell's RedLink proprietary system back to the thermostats to control your HVAC system. And at best, the RedLink system will allow you to have access to your system over the internet through a computer, smartphone, or tablet. You can receive alerts remotely, make schedule changes. Best of all, there's no additional monthly fees for having the service. A contractor once told me he thought the RedLink system was like a new cordless tool for his toolbox. Put it in, pull it out whenever it's too costly or time-consuming to run wires to a condensing unit or a boiler to control the device, which likely will be in every installation from now on. Simply put, the installing a RedLink system is a wise investment on your part as it lets you keep the walls and move the wires. Cut installation time, reduce risk of avoiding endless wiring issues, reducing your ultimate cost. Now, Honeywell has been a leader in developing controls for the HVAC system since 1885 and continues today with RedLink. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, that's great, Sam. Thanks a lot, buddy. There you go, Sam McDonald from Honeywell. All right, Kenny. Now, as we've said earlier in the show, we have got one of the most, a new category at the Control Trends Awards, the Systems Integrator of the Year Awards, and we have another integrator that's coming up, which I'll let you introduce them, Kenny. But before we do that, let's just give our Control Trends community the entire rundown, because we've got three of them we haven't heard from yet. So if you know these folks, we'd love for you to get hold of them because we'd love to get them on the show. So Kenny, let's start with all the nominees and we'll talk about who we hadn't seen yet, and then we'll get to our next interview.
All right, Eric. The finalists for the Control Systems Integrators, there's 7 of them. We have Control Systems Consultants out of Terrell, Texas. We have Automation Integrated, Oklahoma City. Hepta Systems, North America. ATS Seattle. Novitas Systems Integration out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. McKinney's from Atlanta, Georgia. And Alpha Controls and Services out of Illinois. Well, it's really cool. And like I said, we've heard from our friends in Texas. We just heard earlier in the show from our friends up in Boston. And we've heard from Big Poppy, Little Poppy at Hepta. They'll probably come back on again because they're pretty regular on the show. And so we're really missing our friends from McKinney's, from Alpha, and then from our friends in Seattle. So if you happen to know them, please let them know. We'd love to get them on the show so our community can make an informed decision. But Kenny, with that, how about introducing our next guest from Oklahoma City? All right, love to. Our guests this week are Automation Integrated out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. These guys are very, very serious, competent systems integrators and take system integration to the next level. Welcome to the show, guys. Hey, guys, welcome to the show. It's great to have you, Chris and Jeff.
Hey, how are you doing, Eric?
I got to start right out of the box by congratulating you guys. You guys were picked for the Control Trends Systems Integrator of the Year. As you may or may not know, this is the first year we've done this award, guys, and we didn't know who to put down, so we didn't put anybody down. So basically, people wrote names of integrators in, and we had over 80 integrators from around the planet, and you guys made the finals at the top. I think it's 6 we got. So congratulations on that.
Hey, we appreciate it. It's a great honor. Thanks to all of our customers and friends in the Niagara community for nominating us for this award.
Well, awesome. Well, listen, like I said, the Niagara community, I think, really knows about you guys, but for the rest of the Control Trends community out there who may not have had the honor or may not have had the privilege of working with you guys, tell them about AI, how the company got started, what you guys are all about.
Well, Chris and I started AI about 4 years ago, and from our initial meetings, whenever we sat down and put together our business plan, we intended to take AI a slightly different direction than a lot of the industry does business right now. In general, what that meant was that we were going to build a strong IT department, and we were going to move into an enterprise integration space. And we differentiate that from the standard temperature control market in that we do access controls, video surveillance, burglar alarm, fire alarm. But most importantly, we unify those platforms into a common web user interface for enterprise users. One of the interesting things I found about AI was that you're much further down the road or integrating
much more than just building automation and building management systems. You have technology partners beyond BAS, beyond the Niagara, Sky Foundry, and DG Logics. You also have a staff IT department that's Cisco certified, and you have corporate relationships, partner relationships with Dell, IBM, and also security, which is just an extraordinarily large portfolio. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, we have an IT department. From the very beginning, what we felt was that if we would use highly technical people, and what the intent was to have an IT department and a couple of software developers that would focus in on Java to let us write some powerful tools for Niagara, that it would really differentiate us in the building automation market. And what we found is, as much as the building automation market needs that, the security market needs it even more. So there's an enormous amount of power that we bring to bear by leveraging Niagara into those other spaces.
Right, Eric. So instead of just being a hot glue gun type operator where you would buy a package and then apply just that specialized package, AI has the software development capabilities where we can actually knit down at the deep layer for true integration.
I think true integration is a great way to talk about it. As we mentioned Jim Young, Howard Berger, from Realcomm Ibicon, a show that we both attend, and Jim for a couple of years has talked about systems integrators needing to step their game up to meet the true needs of what the real estate and property management people are after. And it seems like you guys are really sort of dialed into what they're asking for.
Sure. Well, my background, I came from a large property management firm through engineering, and then found my way into controls about 12 years ago. So I've got experience in the market as commercial property and facility management. So we understand what those corporate users are looking for. So when you have the ability to write API to API integrations for major systems for companies, you can bring big value to them with small pieces of code. And so we're talking things like Active Directory integration for access control credentials, visitor management, those things on the access control side, but also in the building automation space, there's so many customers who are feeling pain from obsolete proprietary systems. If you can write and configure drivers to bring those systems into Niagara, into an HTML5 user interface, and free them from the handcuffs of being tied to a legacy contractor who's focused solely on temperature controls, they look at you like a magic wand. It's a great space, very profitable for us.
Well, and it's very profitable for the owners too. For our listeners out there who might not know, I mean, when Jeff's talking about the proprietary systems, I mean, that's huge. So basically what I think you're saying, Jeff, is you don't have to strip down a complete control system, which is what you would typically have to do in the past with a proprietary system. You can replace the front end, have somebody like you guys come in, write some code, bring it back in. Then you can invest your dollars in things like analytics and other cool stuff, right?
So yeah, the idea is you have to look at it like an accountant looks at a mechanical system. They may be depreciating that system over 10, 15, 20 years. They're not going to throw a bunch of money at a system just because a controller is obsolete or the owner's having some pain with the user interface or a service provider. So if you'll go in from like an MBA, go in and replace programmable controllers, integrate terminal units, what you do, it's the old philosophy of embrace, don't replace. You leverage their existing capital investment, you gain a customer, and then you can solve other problems for them. So they get out of a painful relationship, they get modern technology, they get graphics on their mobile devices, they get analytics, and you gain a customer in a high value project.
Right, so you're also freeing up the data. So instead of just replacing from one proprietary system to a new framework, what we like to do is integrate with the future in mind. Absolutely. So we like to utilize web technologies, we like to utilize open source projects, so we don't hamstring our customer down into a new proprietary solution.
Oh, that's fantastic, guys. That's fantastic. Now, listen, I want to ask you, with your Cisco and your IT department, one of the trends we track on control trends is the whole sort of cybersecurity aspect of things. And so what sort of things do you offer your customers vis-a-vis cybersecurity through their building automation system?
Obviously, as LinkSpring customers, we sell CyberPro, which is a great new product. It's NetOps security. embedded at a device level that'll provide access controls to embedded systems in a customer's facilities. That's terrific. We also host services for customers. We'll help them deploy their network infrastructure, their firewalls. We'll help them build integrations with Active Directory to credential their users into automation systems, so that support and maintenance of those access controls to the network become access controls to the systems based on Active Directory permissions.
Right. The earlier we can get in on the network security, the better off we're going to be, and the more successful the customer's going to be. A lot of times the IT security is just merely an afterthought. But if you go into the project with that approach of developing a good, sound, and secure system, your outcome is going to be a lot better.
It's got to be layered like an onion. You can't rely on any one component or strategy. We saw it, I don't know if you've seen it, but today Juniper switches were found to have a hard-coded backdoor password in their operating system.
Oh my goodness, that's got to have some people concerned, huh?
Absolutely, it does. But if you come into the game saying we're going to leverage only our router and our firewall, that's going to be our only security, you've already missed the boat.
So how do you guys sort of internally leverage these different silos? Because you're playing in everything from fire and security all the way to IT to analytics to the basic temperature controls.
What we do, it's the main proposition is that we have multiple arrows in our quiver. So the idea is that we want to acquire a customer. So if they've got pain in access controls, we sell them access controls. Once you've done that, if you've got an integrated suite of products, and those can include Cisco, that can include Microsoft and IBM and Dell, that can include AMAG access controller, Niagara access control, whatever. You've got a full quiver of products that internal to your organization, you're a subject matter expert. We're an AMAG, we're AMAG's only certified developer partner. So when you can cross integrate these products, and we do that internally, the customers don't have to bear all the cost for a single integration. You've done it already.
Well, so they also don't have to bear the risk either, right?
Right, because what happens then is you've got a successful deployment, you've got a successful product that you're selling, you've acquired a customer, you've got successful integrations, and then you cross-sell those back into your customer base. So you start out with Niagara and you solve their pain with a proprietary legacy system that's obsolete. Solve that problem for them. Well, now they need access controls. Well, you go back to your quiver and you get your access control arrow. Well, they've got problems with mechanical systems or energy consumption. So then you go back and you find your analytics solution. They need video surveillance. Well, here's a neat way to approach video surveillance as an enterprise customer.
And the key to doing that is by taking the right products to the customer. Products like Genesis, AMAG, and some of the other products that we represent.
Well, hey guys, real quick, LinkSpring is up for several Control Trends Awards. I know you guys are a big LinkSpring partner. Tell us what you guys like about LinkSpring and why voters should consider voting for LinkSpring.
Sure. Okay, yeah. So LinkSpring's a bunch of biker guys. And I love it because when we started AI, as we like to joke, we didn't have any damn money. So I say it's not really a joke. It's the truth.
I love it.
So if you remember back in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, there was what's the code? Take what you can and give nothing back. So we're kind of the pirates of the automation world. So bikers and pirates, I think, will get along just fine.
There you go.
So what they do that's tremendous is they don't handcuff you. It's not like being a Schneider Electric dealer where you've got a territory and channel protection. What you buy from them is top quality products, top quality tech support, top quality sales support, and they enable you to chase big customers.
Wow. Well, describe a little bit, if you would, your typical customer. I mean, is there sort of a sweet spot that you guys go after?
Well, so what's interesting is we've grown so fast over the years. Our typical customer if you looked through our books right now, and it's pretty funny, we do business with half of the Fortune 500 companies that are based in Oklahoma, and multiple Fortune 500 companies that are based outside of Oklahoma. And it's not necessarily because we have marketed specifically that direction. It's that when a customer gets to that scale, they need that scale solutions. So it's been a great opportunity for us because we've got the technical capability. We're a business ally with the economics of a contractor.
Some of the verticals that we find ourselves successful in are multi-site retail, energy, banking,
and major institution
customers.
Well, that was one of the things that Jim Young, when he talked about the integrator of tomorrow, which it sounds like you guys are on tap with, that a lot of the property management people wanted somebody that could take it soup to nuts, integrate all the different systems, but at the same time, travel and do all their facilities. So what sort of range do you guys cover travel-wise or distance-wise?
Well, we haven't worked internationally yet, so but that's on the plate. So we'll see if that comes to fruition for us next year. So being a LinkSpring partner, we don't have territory restrictions. So we can take our Niagara products. If we acquire a major customer, we can go through the LinkSpring partner channel, team up with a local integrator, and deliver a solution. We back out of the deal. We buy a warranty from that integrator, and we found that to be a very successful business model. And we've done $1 million projects 1,500 miles from the house.
Yeah, I did some research on you guys. I was on your website, and I got a chance to see that you're on quite a roll. Back in August 2015, you were listed in Metro 50. You were given an award for the Metro 50 award. In the September timeframe, you were featured in SDM Security Dealer Magazine. In October, you were listed as one of the top 10 small businesses in Oklahoma City. And in November, you were nominated for Control Trends Awards System Integrator of the Year. I said, you guys are quite a roll. Tell us more.
Kenny, thanks for the kind words. It's been an interesting year. We've been featured in a lot of magazines because we've delivered a lot of good solutions for customers. We were actually SDM Magazine's runner-up for Security Integrator of the Year, and now here we are later on in the year, and we've got an opportunity to be the Control Trends Building Automation Integrator of the Year. So that's a lot of fun for us, and it just shows that our customers are enjoying the solutions that we're delivering for them.
Very, very cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So a customer sees you guys on this interview maybe and says, hey, I got a project I want to work with. Sort of walk a customer through, how they would interface with you guys. We obviously got the website up, but what sort of things they can expect from you? Is there a process you guys sort of go through with a customer, and what can they expect once they do business with you?
Well, the sales process for AI is actually pretty easy. What we try to do is go in and we look for where someone's experiencing pain. And that can be high energy costs, that can be poor service. And we try to develop a solution that's going to have the highest value to solve their biggest problem. So say that was an obsolete legacy automation system. We'll go in and as thoughtfully as we can, deliver an analytic solution to identify exactly what they need to buy, what they need to integrate, what they need to replace. We'll configure a Niagara driver or write a piece of software on our own to deploy for that customer, and then we'll deliver that product.
One of the keys that we found is helping the customer solve the right problem. A lot of times, sir, they come to us with a handful of pains, but it's identifying how we can utilize good technology, how we can bring good resources to bear to help solve the right problems.
Very well said. Well, let me ask you guys a question. So is it just owners you guys deal with in terms of your customer set? Or if, let's say I'm an integrator, maybe even a mechanical contractor that I have a facility, like I've already got a relationship with a customer. Would you guys work behind the scenes with an existing integrator to sort of help them to the next level?
Absolutely. The thing that a lot of integrators, especially if you're trying to grow into this space, remember that you don't have to bear all the overhead to deliver a solution. If you need somebody to come to the table and bring that last little piece of technology to bear, give us a call. We'll come in, we'll help you with whatever piece of it that you need help with and help you deliver that high value solution. You don't have to have 4 Java developers on staff to be able to solve a problem for a customer. Let us come do that for you. We'll put it right into our mix where it's maintained over time. We'll stay engaged with you. And then as you grow, you can take on some of that responsibility.
You know, Eric, a couple of years back, we went to ICS West out in Las Vegas, which is a security convention.
Right.
And we hear the term security or systems integrator used a lot. And a lot of times it's really misapplied.
Sure.
The way we consider integration is actually deep integration down into the data, making good use of it, and giving the customers the right tools to make intelligent decisions. We're not a copy-paste, hot glue gun operator type of company who's coming there with a box of parts and looking to solve something with what's inside their box. We develop the solutions, and that's one of the unique things that sets AI apart from most other people who consider themselves security or systems integrators.
All right, so there you have it, guys. Man, thanks so much. Good luck at the 2015 Control Trends Awards. You guys going to be down in Orlando?
Absolutely.
Hey, another reason you need to come down there because you'll see these guys, Chris and Jeff, walking the red carpet. So if you like what you hear, be sure to take a minute, go on the side of the Control Trends website, click on the ballot, vote for these guys, pass the ballot on, and we will see you in Orlando with the superstars like Chris and Jeff. Thanks again, fellas.
Thanks.
All right, there you have it. Another week on Control Talk Now, the Smart Buildings video cast and podcast. This will be the last one for 2015. We will catch you on the flip side in 2016. So a very, very special thanks to all our viewers of the video cast, our listeners of the podcast, and the Control Trends community at large. Hope you have a very, very happy new year, and let's make 2016 very prosperous. So with that, I'll leave you with the usual sign-off. Have a great day, and remember, stay in control.
Indeed, Eric.
Indeed, Kenny Smyers.